Hey guys, what's going on? Got another Enhancement Shaman video here. We're doing a Totemic Enhance Rotation helper, I guess, in a way. Now, with the recent patch of 11.7, the one button assist has come into play. Now, as what I've tested so far, it is actually decent to an extent, but it's still not perfect. It's definite you're gonna lose DPS, obviously, because of the GCD, but it doesn't do everything properly. Now, it is better for Totemic than it is for Stormbringer. So, if you are feeling really lazy or just not comfortable with anything, you can use it. It's fine. It'll work. But if you can get your rotation down or your prio list for more preferred things, if you can get the prio list down, then you're going to do a whole lot more damage. So yeah, anyways, let's start off with our cooldowns. Now, in Totemic, I say we have 3 cooldowns. I don't consider Surging Totem a cooldown, mainly because you want 100% uptime on it. But we have Primordial Wave, we have Feral Spirits, and we have Doom Winds. Now, each one of these should be comboed with one another. So if you have all 3 active, then you Feral Spirits, Primordial Wave, then Doom Winds, then Primordial Storm. The reason being is Feral Spirits gives you 30% damage increase to all physical attacks. Primordial Wave gives you a big haste boost and then turns into Primordial Storm, which deals all element types plus physical damage. So Feral Spirits buffs that by 30%. And on top of that, if you Doom Winds, you basically have a 100% chance to cause a Wind Fury. And Primordial Storm triggers a triple Wind Fury attack on each strike. So basically, if you hit one target, you get 9 Wind Fury strikes at once. So combo that on top of every single ad in AoE scenarios, you do mad amounts of damage. But yeah, so those are your 3. And you do want to combo your trinkets, so whether it's Signet of the Priory or your House of Cards, you want to combo that with Primordial Wave, put it in like a macro like I have here, it will just you don't have to think about it, and on top of that, it's just automatically gonna use it, and if you do put your racial there too, make sure they go in first. And then just type in show tooltips primordial wave so that way you can track your primordial wave and primordial storm. This makes sure that before you cast primordial wave, your trinket and racial are used first so the damage from primordial wave gets that amplification because primordial wave on its own does quite a significant amount of damage. So make sure you hold feral spirits. So if you'll notice a lot that feral spirits comes off cooldown pretty quick. If you have about let's say 10 seconds until primordial wave is off cooldown, go ahead and use it. You have 15 seconds to use your feral spirits or to make use of their buff before anything. So always try to use it within 10 seconds of primordial wave. So if feral spirits is ready, use it, and then only if primordial wave has 10 seconds left on its cooldown. You always want to make sure you combo it because it's just 30% damage increase to all physical types, which primordial storm is a physical damage amplification. So it goes crazy. It goes crazy. So let's get into our single target priority list, which should be in the top left. Hopefully I put that there because it will help out a lot. But anyways, first off, we have our surging totem. We want to keep that at 100% uptime. All you have to do is drop it on the ground. Boom, it's there, and that's going to amplify your lava lash. Next up is your flame shock. Now you don't really have to worry about this one, but it is very key. If it's not active, you have to make sure it is. Once it is active, you don't really have to think about it. You just place it. So generally that comes right after your surging totem because you get a big old buff to your next flame shock to deal 300% increased damage. Boom. You press it. There you go. Now you get your flame shock active. Lava Lash is going to refresh it every single time. Next up is Legacy of the Frost Witch. This one's a bit weird, but it'll make sense. So once you spend 10 Maelstrom, you get a buff called Legacy of the Frost Witch, which is right here. It gives you 25% increased damage to both physical and frost damage. So the more important thing is 25% increased physical damage, which buffs majority of what you do. So you always want to make sure you spend 10 Maelstrom to keep that active. Once that is active, Maelstrom falls off the list quite far. Next up is going to be Lava Lash with Hot Hands, and then Lava Lash with Ashen Catalyst plus 8 stacks. So that means if you don't have Hot Hands, but you have 8 stacks, as you can see by the counter there, you want to use Lava Lash. Outside of that, it's going to be Storm Strike to basically just do damage and fill, but also it has a chance to trigger Hot Hands because you're making Flame Tongue attacks. After that, it's back to Lava Lash, and then it's back to Maelstrom. So Maelstrom is technically the lowest unless you are trying to refresh your Legacy of the Frost Witch. Now, to try and do this in full time, I'll probably not be talking because I can't think and do that at the same time, but I'll do my best. So first off, we're going to start with a straight up opener, which is going to be Feral Spirits, Primordial Wave, Doom Winds. It's going to be very quick and easy, but once you get this down, it's pretty nice. So you start off with your Surging Totem. So you got a pull timer going, Surging Totem, Feral Spirits, Flame Shock. We want to make sure we trigger Primordial Wave. We want to get 10 stacks, Primordial Storm. And then we start hammering the Lava Lashes because it's active. We're watching our buff. So we're about to lose Legacy Frost Witch. We use Elemental Blast. And then we're waiting for our stacks to come up. We're at 10. Legacy Frost Witch kind of falling off. Bam. Elemental Blast. Surging Totem came off cooldown. We drop it again. We're spamming Storm Strike. And then Elemental Blast to get our buff back up. And now we have Feral Spirits back. So we're going to go ahead and Feral Spirits into Primordial Wave, into a Primordial Storm. And then we're just going to continue generating and generating until we can't do anything. So as you can see, it is very straightforward. I feel like a lot of people might overthink it a bit, but at the same time, it is a bit, intimidating at the start. So your combo is always going to be Primordial Wave, Doom Winds, Feral Spirits openers. Although all three of those cooldowns are very important to interlink with each other. And then at the same time, Surging Totem you need down at all times. So just to go over the opener again, once it goes, Feral Spirits is taking a while. We're actually just generate. That'll help. But you can see I got a Hot Hands proc just from Storm Striking. Nice and easy. So again, to go over the opener, drop the totem. We Feral Spirits. We Flame Shock. We Primordial Wave. We get 10 stacks. We Doom Winds. We Storm. And then we Lava Lash spam. Try to move your totem on top of targets as well. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but hey, we use Maelstrom to get our buff back up. Now we're just generating. We're just storm striking, get our buff back. Boom, big old Lava Lashes, drop our totem again. We get another window of Hot Hands there. And you can see my Feral Spirits is coming close off a cooldown. I see it. You want a Feral Spirits first, then Primordial Wave, because that's going to generate Maelstrom, which is going to allow Feral Spirits to come off cooldown even faster. So yeah. But outside of your cooldowns, it's basically just weaving in Storm Strikes and Lava Lashes until your buff is about to fall off, and then you spend Maelstrom. It's a lot easier than you think. It really is, but I can understand why people get intimidated by it. So let's go into AoE. So AoE is a slightly different version, but not too much different. Which one is it? It's this one. So this time we have Crash Lightning and we have Sunder, and we lose our Storm Strike buffs. So this is very important because Sunder plays a massive, massive part. So due to Sunder's Molten Thunder, it has a chance to reset its cooldown consistently. So you can just sit there smashing it, and it comes off cooldown like instantly. So you notice we lose our Storm Strike. So Storm Strike drops significantly on the priority list, but it's very similar. So the AoE priority is Surging Totem. Then you want to keep your Flame Shock dot. Legacy of the Frost Witch, as usual, you want to keep that active. Used Elemental Blast. Don't use Chain Lightning. Prioritize Elemental Blast if you can. Sunder until it reaches CD. Crash Lightning, and then Lava Lash spam as much as possible into Storm Strikes if you run out of stuff. It's very unlikely you'll run out of Lava Lashes because of how fast it comes off cooldown. But let's go. This is only 3 targets. So to start off, very, very similar AoE scenario. So as the single target stuff, so we start with our Surging Totem, we Feral Spirits, we Flame Shock, and that automatically triggers everything. We Primordial Wave, Crash Lightning, Storm, boom, Sunder, it's on cooldown. We go back to Lava Lash. going back to Lava Lash. Back to Lava Lash. Our buff fell off, so we Elemental Blast. Back to Lava Lash. We lost our Crash Lightning buff. We go ahead and use it. Boom, big hit. Totem back down. Elemental Blast, get our buff. When we're going ham with more Lava Lashes. Crash Lightning, get our buff back. And then Feral Spirits, we Primordial Wave, we Lava Lash, we Primordial Storm, we Lava Lash, and then we Sunder Spam, and we failed to get buffs because the game hates us. And yeah, so you can see it is very, very straightforward. Keep your Crash Lightning buff as much as possible, and, you know, just combo everything. It's very similar to Single Target, except you're trading in Storm Strike for Sunder as much as you can. So I'm going to go over the opener a bit slower this time, so that way we can see it a bit more. We're just going to generate and get Feral Spirits off a cooldown here, so that way we can do this. Really is... Okay. So again, we want to drop our totem. For the opener specifically, drop totem. We want a Feral Spirits. Then we want a Flame Shock. We want to move our totem in. Primordial Wave, Doom Winds, and then Primordial Storm into a Sunder Spam until it drops cooldown. So you can see it's on cooldown now. Then we Crash, so that way we get our little buff here that deals AoE damage. Then we just Lava Lash Spam. Move our totem in closer. And you can just see how much damage we're doing. Our Legacy of the Frostwitch fell off, so we're going to Elemental Blast. The reason why we Elemental Blast over Chain Lightning in AoE is because we get that nice little Mastery, Crit, or Haste buff from Elemental Blast, and Chain Lightning just doesn't do enough damage to warrant using at all, considering the fact that we only use Crash Lightning as well to either generate Maelstrom, trigger a Hot Hands, or to keep the buff up. Other than, yeah. So it's not used very often, so its cooldown reduction isn't prioritized all that much. But yeah, that is basically it for the rotation stuff. Again, it is a bit intimidating at first, but once you understand the basics of it all and you get used to it, it'll become second nature and super easy to follow. Anyways, guys, let me know how this works for you in the comments. Please let me know if this helps or if I did a terrible job. I don't know. I'm really hoping this helps because I've been gearing up a second enhancement shaman and just blasting on it in Totemic, so it's been fun. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this helps, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!